When it comes to what's happening in Wayne County and the North Carolina area, look no further than Taylor House Publishing. If you have a story that needs to be told, please contact us via email at taylorhousepublishing@gmail.com.
All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Richard Taylor, and I'm here with some more information concerning the town audit in the town of Fremont, North Carolina, in Wayne County. Last week, there was an audit released which showed a lot of disbursements that were unexplainable to employees of the town of Fremont, namely current county commissioner of Wayne County, Miss Barbara Aycock, who was the the town administrator of Fremont at the time. Now, I did a video about that. You can go back and watch a little bit of the findings of the preliminary state audit. However, when someone seen that, they actually sent me the beginning audit, which was the precursor, which caused this big audit to be investigated or to commence. So I'm going to share some documents with you real quick, and it shows how the town of Fremont basically just wrote handwritten checks to Miss Barbara Aycock, which were unexplainable according to this audit that she shouldn't have been receiving. Now, this audit was conducted, as you see, by Sharp Patel CPA, and you see this audit started in January the 18th, 2022. And it says that we have completed an examination of allegations concerning the town of Fremont during the year ending June 30th, 2017. The results are as following. Now, I'm going to show you the results, but keep in mind, all of these discrepancies are from June 30th, 2016 to June 30th, 2017. In 1 year, all of these discrepancies have been found. Now, these are the key findings that they found as a result of this audit. If you look, the town only has about 1,430 residents, and it operated on an annual budget of $3.7 million. And if you see the key findings, it said during the year, June 30th, 2017, the town dispersed approximately $35,000 in funds to 2 former employees that lacked supporting documentations and or merit. The majority of this amount was for unallowed vacation pay. Now, if you remember in the first video, that was the claim that they. And I'm gonna give you the numbers, but I'm also going to show you the check that was written to then Miss Barbara Aycock. But first, let me show you this. Now, this is the breakdown of her benefits as town administrator. As you see, it says that this is the town administrator who was employed from January 2014 to January 2020. And it says we were able to obtain contracts for the years ending in 2014, 2018, 2019. And we noted board approval of the contract for the years ended 2015, 2016. Now look at the terms of this agreement. It says the salary was $31,500, mileage reimbursement at the IRS rate for travel on behalf of the town, $500 monthly to health savings account with State Employee Credit Bank. And you see they have written in bold letters, no other fringe benefits are provided. And the contract notes that the employees anticipated to averaging 20 hours a week with Fridays off. And you see in bold letters, once again, no other fringe benefits are allowed. Meaning, you don't get any special perks, any special treatment. You allowed a certain amount for travel and a certain amount for health and savings. But what's interesting about this audit is this right here. Now you see that she wasn't allowed any special benefits or fringe benefits, but you see that this former town administrator, namely Miss Aycock, regular pay was $31,490. Holiday pay was almost $800, and special pay. What is the special pay? This was almost $1,400, and if you see right under that, it said there was no indication for what special pay was regarding, and based on the supporting documentation review, this employee was entitled to salary compensation of $31,500. There was a potential overpayment of $2,000 based on the additional payments dispersed. Now, also, you see the paragraph below, we noted that the health savings account payment was not transmitted through the payroll system as noted on the contract. We noted that other employees of the town had their health savings account payments withheld and transmitted to the bank by the town through the payroll systems. These payments are payroll type transactions and should have been transmitted through the payroll system and reported on the year-end tax statements. We know that the former employee did not record time in town's time system as the majority of the town employees were required to do on a weekly basis. In addition to the payroll transactions above, during our examination, we noted $49,785 was dispersed through checks to the former town administrator. Now you see what she was supposed to get, $31,000. And you see the extra special pay and the holiday pay, which were distributed to the town fund. I'm going to show you the checks, right? But also, it says that her health savings account was not transmitted through the payroll, but gave to her in the form of checks. And you saw the last paragraph where $49,000 was distributed to her in the form of checks, much higher than her $31,000 base salary, which was only for 20 hours a week. So let's look at some more of these documents. This right here details the payments of her for gas. Now, once again, you saw that there was an allotment for like $500 for gas, but these, as you see, he said per review of supporting documents, these benefits per contract payments were for insurance, car, and gas, travel monthly. These amounts were usually prepaid the month in advance and totaled $1,500 per month, $18,500 for the year ending of June 30th, 2017. There appears to be an overpayment of $500 related to the August benefits. So basically, she was getting $1,500 a month to travel. Also, it's almost double time because what she was doing, as you see in paragraph B, it was noted that the former town administrator received payments for reimbursement for mileage and meals totaling $142. Per the monthly benefits paid above, travel was included in the $1,500 per month payment. So by requesting reimbursement for mileage, the former town administrator was being paid twice for the same offense. This resulted in an overpayment of $518. So then they have the other overpayment. So this just shows that Miss Aycock was working the system, and the fact that she did not record time like the other employees allowed for this big check that you're about to see. Now also, we already discussed the holiday pay, as you see in this example, but it says the former town administrator was paid a full 8 hours for each holiday, although she was only a part-time employee. If eligible for these payments, they should have been calculated on a prorate basis. However, per review of supporting documentation, there was no indication this former employee was eligible for holiday pay, and this resulted in the overpayment. Now, also, paragraph D, the town administrator was paid $742 for longevity pay. The amount was calculated on an annual salary of $49,000. The former employee's salary was $31,500, and say that the manual states that town employees shall receive longevity pay based on years of employment. At the time of this payment and based on the personal manual, this former employee had between 1 and 4 years of service, and it should be calculated at 75% of their salary, 0.75% on their salary. Now, if this former employee, once again, if this former employee had been eligible for longevity pay, the amount should have been $236. However, the report documentation, there was no indication that this former employee was eligible for longevity pay, and this resulted in an overpayment of $742. Now, this is this one right here. This is the main issue that just exhibits how they are, they were basically just robbing the town, if you ask me. And according to this audit, they feel the same way. On March 16, 2017, a check was written to the former town administrator in the amount of $28,552.50. The only supporting documentation for this was an email stating, per contracted services benefits, including 3 weeks of paid vacation each year, I am under contract with the town of Fremont. This is not a part of the annual salary while employed. A separate check is to be made. Employment from January 2013, start date until 2017. Time owed is now 15 weeks. A total of $28,552.50. This was apparently signed by the former town administrator and the mayor. Now, once again, this is someone that you will see that didn't even work there in 2013. As you see from the bottom part, it says, we noted employment started approximately January 2014. In either case, this former employee would not have been eligible for 15 weeks. Also, there is no supporting calculation provided. The check was signed by the finance officer at the time and the town clerk. Per review of correspondence with Town's Bank, the town clerk did not have check signing authority at the time. What this means is basically this check wasn't even supposed to be signed and authorized and even distributed. But also, it shows that she was not even eligible for holiday pay. And if so, the maximum, as you see from this supported document, the maximum, if this former employee was eligible for this payment, which includes back payments, which per review of supporting documents, they were not. The very maximum of the payment should have been based on salary rate and 120 hours of vacation would have been $11,812.50 at the maximum. So, based on supporting documents, there is no adequate supporting documentation for this disbursement. We did not find any board authorization or approval for this transaction. Although it appears the mayor signed off on the transaction, we did not find any documents in the town's policy and procedures that gave the mayor this authorization. Also, this payment are payroll transactions that should have been transmitted through the payroll system and reported on year-end tax statements. We noticed that the payment were split into expense categories and were coded professional services, not salaries. Based on the supporting documents and circumstances, this transaction violated town personnel policy and resulted in an overpayment of $28,552. So basically what that is saying is basically they circumvented all of the protocols. Like, this is supposed to be a payroll transaction, but it wasn't. Also, the mayor was not supposed to sign off on it. There's so many things wrong with this transaction. It was coded as professional services, not salary, and broken down into three invoices totaling $9,517 or something of that nature, which I'll show you. But and also once again, the town clerk didn't even have a check signing authorization. So basically, what the town of Fremont is doing is just doing what they wanted to do. So these are the overall findings. As a result of our examination, we noted approximately $35,366.93 93 cents in questionable expenditures during the year ended June 2017, that were paid without adequate supporting documentation and/or merit. The most concerning was the check written to the former town administrator in the amount of $28,552.50. Factors that led to this overpayment were lack of oversight by those charged in governance and override of internal controls by management. So, this audit found that $35,000 were paid erroneously to basically one employee. Like the other, I think the town clerk got a few $100s here and there. But basically, all of this stems from the current county commissioner, Miss Barbara Aycock, and her wanting to, I guess, get special fringe benefits that were not allowed. Now, the recommendations, as you see, the recommendations say that we recommend that the former town administrator for all overpayments the town should seek reimbursement from the town administrator for all overpayments received during their employment, especially for the $28,000 as noted above, of course. And then they go on to mention how they should, kind of review their policies and put some protection measures in place. But now let's look at this. Now this is sent to this is sent, it says sent from Diane Spellman to Barbara Aycock per contracted services. Benefits included 3 weeks of paid vacation each year that I'm under contract with the town of Fremont. This is not part of the annual salary while employed. A separate check is to be made. Employment from January 2013 start date until present 2017. Time owed is 15 weeks, a total of $28,552. Now, as you see from this, there's no calculations. There's no ledgers or balances or additions or subtractions. Just look, 3 payments of $9,500, $17.50. Now, here you will see next is the check. There we see the check is written to the order of Barbara Aycock, $28,552, signed by the clerk and the town chairman, it looks like. And this is also the one of the mileage receipts that she received double pay for, and also it says lunch for 2 people, Shannon Daly and Barbara Aycock. And there's a lot more of these smaller receipts. Here we have something that she requested, some money for travel that she requested for an ECU talent enhancement program on several dates throughout that time period between 2016 and 2017. The estimated cost was $449, and here you see the check written for $449. Now, all of these are disbursements from the town of Fremont, and these checks are being made from the town fund. And there you have, once again, the longevity, the false longevity payment, which increased her salary from the 31,000 to the 49,491 yearly, as you saw. Well, excuse me, no, that is the payment. I'm sorry, but remember, she was only making 31,000, but they based that payment on 49,491. Where did they get that figure from? That's basically cheating. So that's just minimal, right? Those documents that you saw, and I didn't try to bore you with all the documents and read through all of them individually, but if anybody wants a copy of that report, I have it. You can go through it individually so you can, kind of, see what they are talking about. I know this probably doesn't matter to some people. A lot of people are not interested in numbers like that. But this shows, once again, how people in power, namely, the people that were in the power of Fremont, the town of Fremont, even the mayor, W.D. Flowers, in the last article, he was quoted as saying, "It's about time that I start taking advantage of some of the perks that I have as mayor of this town." And so, he was operated in a outlaw manner. And so, this is just the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, because, mind you, this was only for the year of 2016. The complaints didn't start getting investigated until January 2020. So we have a whole 6 years after and 3 years before. How much more money do you think was handed out in the manner that we see within those years? Just, we can do a average, right? A mean analysis. $35,000 this year, right? Times 10. What's that? Over $250,000 that may have been mishandled. More or less, we don't even know what else. Like these are only things that they found. Not to mention things that have been well hidden, undocumented, things of that nature. So evidently, it seems that people in the town of Fremont, evidently Miss Barbara Aycock has gotten caught with her hand in the cookie jar, and it has come to full circle. Of course, she did admit to be willing to pay the money back, but once again, if you've done nothing wrong, you wouldn't pay any money back. So evidently, everybody knew that this was out of line, and it's people think that it doesn't affect them personally. But the funny thing, I was at the store the other day, and a lady came up to me. She said, "Hey, ain't you the one that did the video on the town of Fremont?" I said, "Yeah." She said, I live in Fremont. I'm from Fremont. I live in Goldsboro now, but I live there, and I knew there was something wrong. That's what she said, because I don't know if you know the benefits cards that they're handing out now, where people can go pay their bills or buy groceries or whatever with them. This lady told me that the town of Fremont were not accepting those cards. And I said, okay, that makes sense, because if they don't accept them, if they accept those, then they can't get their hands on the cold hard cash. They have to really file and, wait for the government, the reimbursement and all these things. So it's obvious that they weren't following protocol, because many of these payments were not listed on the town's end of the year tax return. That is actually fraud. That's right, tax evasion, right? Wesley Snipes, 3 years in jail, whatever the case may be. Red Fox, Richard Pryor, all that is basically tax evasion. What these people were doing. So I don't know the legal ramifications of their dealings, but that lady said, well, yeah, they wouldn't even take those cards. And you have people in a town of 1,400 people that are struggling. People waking up 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning, going to work, living from check to check, eating from hand to mouth. And we got town administrators, cheating the system, cheating the people out of their hard-earned tax-paying money. and not allowing them the benefits that are afforded even by the government, because they don't want to accept those checks because they can't get their hands on the money ASAP. So we're going to keep an eye on this. I appreciate the individual that sent me this audit. If you want a copy of the audit, once again, my number is 919-587-7782, or you can email me at taylorpublishinghouse@gmail.com. But it's definitely a good thing when we can start to hold people who are supposed to have our best interests. We can hold them accountable for actions that are not conducive to their role of leadership and their example of that they're supposed to be setting for, moral authority and leadership. So this is something that we're going to keep an eye on. Once again, Ms. Aycock is currently a county commissioner of Wayne County, so we definitely want to be, probably watching out what's going on up there with their finances and what's happening with that. But nevertheless, this is the video. You can go back, rewind it, look at some of those documents more in depth, or you can once again request those documents from myself. But peace and blessings. Y'all have a good night.